Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live podcast episode of Confident AF. My name is Brandon Foster, author of Confident AF, Unleash Your Inner Badass. If you haven't bought that book, the link's down below. And today we're going to talk about getting untangled in sticky situations inside of our business. And the reason why I want to talk about this is I had an incredible one-on-one coaching call today with a Born to Slay mastermind client. And like many business owners and many clients I've helped before, we sometimes have these situations, whether it is a team situation, a financial situation, a partnership situation, where things just feel sticky, where it doesn't feel like there's actually a good solution to overcome the challenge, figure a way out. We feel like maybe we're in this hole with no rope or no ladder or no elevator, or we just feel like we're kind of in quicksand and we're sinking and we just want God to basically reach in and pull us out of this situation. And the first thing I want to say about this is whenever you find yourself in a sticky situation, no matter what it is inside of your business, it's really important for you, number one, to not ignore the situation. Know that you're in a sticky situation. Accept that you're in a sticky situation. Don't pretend that it's not there, because that's just when things get worse. One of my favorite lessons that I ever learned from some of my practical coaches, the boys, as I call them in clients and community, was that if a mistake happens inside of your business as a result of something that your team member has done, one of the firm boundaries that they taught me was, if that person tells you about the situation, yes, let them stay, forgive, give grace, help them to overcome the situation. If they are not honest about the situation, if they lie about the situation, if they hide the situation, let them go. Because it's like there's a leak in the pipe of a house and somebody knows about it, but they don't tell anybody, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And because it's not addressed, it just creates way more damage than if it was handled immediately when it first happened. And so that's the first thing I want to say is just don't ignore a leaky pipe. Don't pretend that it's not there when it is. And often the reason why we ignore it is because we just want it to go away. We don't want to admit that it's there. Maybe we're embarrassed by it. Maybe we're afraid of what other people will think about us if they find out about it and we ask them for help. Maybe we feel guilt and shame about it. And if we admit it, then we're going to feel more guilt and shame about it. Like, there's thousands of different reasons of why we convince ourselves that it's a good idea to ignore the sticky situation. But you can't get out of a sticky situation if you pretend the situation is not there in the first place. So step number one is be honest. Know that you're in a sticky situation. Okay. So after you know you're in the sticky situation, my second thing is don't judge yourself. Don't tell yourself that you're stupid. You're a bad business owner. You should have known better. What were you thinking? Do not beat yourself up. One of my favorite, I don't know what this Bible verse is, y'all, but there's like a Bible verse in the Bible that says something to the effect of like, God knew all of your steps, even in your mistakes, before you would make them. And for me, that has brought me tremendous comfort as a business owner, because it's like, wait, God already knew. He already knew, which means there's already a way out in love, because God is love. There is no punishment in love. So that is a huge source of encouragement for me, is knowing God already knew. So if God already knew and you're doing the best that you have, because let's be honest, do we get ourselves in sticky situations because of our own shortcomings? Totally. But those shortcomings are always based on low levels of faith, low levels of belief, insecurity, which is acting in fear instead of faith. And even though we do that and we create from that, just know that you are so loved, you are so adored, and there's a way out. And there's just a valuable lesson for you to be learned, so you hopefully don't repeat the same mistake over again. So know that you're doing your best. Forgive and accept where you are. I don't know what number I'm on now. I think I'm on number 3, but forgive and accept where you are in love without judgment. Because remember, judgment is separation of love. Judgment creates guilt and shame. Guilt and shame creates a feeling or desire of punishing inside of your business. We don't want any of that. Instead, we just want to say, thank you, God, so much for this valuable, sticky situation that I can learn some valuable lessons to harvest for good, to be a blessing to other people, to grow stronger, better, move further, faster, all the things that you keep asking inside of your business. Oftentimes, the sticky situations, y'all, are because God has some really cool, amazing things he's going to bless you with. And he doesn't want you to basically wreck the new Ferrari when those things happen to you. So he wants to make sure that you learn the driving lesson with the jalopy first before you get your hands on the Ferrari. That is a really bizarre analogy. And yet, isn't that such a good analogy that like God will let you crash the jalopy first because he doesn't want you to crash the Ferrari. So you get to learn the lesson now. That's really powerful. So the other thing is just own it. Like, don't pretend that you're not in a sticky situation. Be really honest with God and be like, okay, this is a sticky situation. This is what's going on. This is what happened. By the way, y'all, this is such a co-creation episode. If y'all didn't watch listen to last week's co-creation episode, you definitely need to listen to it. And then ask, okay, God, like, what's my easiest, quickest way out in love and grace, in your favor? What is the best thing for me to do to overcome this sticky situation? Ask and it's given, right? And then be quiet, boo. Like, be quiet and listen. I was actually outlining pieces of co-creation for the new co-creation module for Born to Dominate, which is the back-end offer for everyone that's gone to Born to Slay. It's about becoming an emotionally intelligent leader. And I was like, this is the process of co-creation. And then I was like, wait a second, is this the process of co-creation? And I realized like I needed to ask first. I was trying to create something without actually asking God for help first about it. And I realized, oh, I just need to ask today. So I asked a whole bunch of different questions. And then after you ask a whole bunch of questions, then the answers are always given and the answers are always shown. So that is really big and really, really beautiful. So ask and then listen. And then number 6 is decide that good will come from it. Decide that the guidance you're given is safe guidance to help you and to help everybody else involved too. I feel like one of the biggest reasons why situations are sticky is because the people that can help us, we're afraid of them knowing about it. Or if the people are part of the sticky situation, we are scared and afraid of how they're going to react and respond of the sticky situation. And so when you decide what is good for you is also good for them, everything becomes so much cleaner and so much better and so much easier. And when I say it's good for them, this isn't like this selfish piece that's like, I know this is best for me, so therefore it has to be best for you. That's not what it is. It is a really foundational belief that when you're pivoting, when you're overcoming sticky situations, you want an outcome that is so grounded in love of everything you want and also grounded in love of everything that they want to, and that it gives a blessing to them and it's a blessing to you, that through this situation, this outcome, everybody gets to be loved by God. Everybody gets to be blessed by God. Everybody gets to have their prayers answered. Everybody gets to receive encouragement and joy from this outcome and joy from this solution. A great example of this is not my story. It's actually my husband's boss's story. But when he was running, he was in charge of several different McDonald's stores, several different McDonald's locations. And one McDonald's was not doing well. And his higher ups really believed that the store manager was just not a good fit. It wasn't that this person was dumb. It wasn't what this person didn't want to do a good job. It wasn't that this person was incompetent. It wasn't that this person was lazy. It literally was just not the position that they were built for, that they were created for. It was not a good fit for them. And he was very scared to fire this person because he knew this person had just had a son or daughter, had just gotten married, had just bought a house, all the reasons why you don't want to lose your job. And his boss told him, someone's head will roll. It's not going to be mine. It's going to be somebody below me. And so in other words, his boss basically told him, either you let go of the store manager, or we let go of you. It's going to be one or the other, but you decide. And so he knew the decision was to let this person go because they were failing, and they weren't failing again because they were incompetent or bad or that there was anything wrong with them. It just wasn't a good fit. It just wasn't a position for them. And the miracle in this situation is that while he was afraid to let this person go, a couple years later, he was going to visit the same restaurant. He saw this former manager that he let go in the restaurant with a now older child and his wife. And he was stopped by him and he said, you letting me go was the best thing that ever happened to my family. I started working for an accounting firm. I've been promoted several times. I'm making more money than I ever have. I'm happier than I ever have. And so sometimes what is best for them, they might not see it. What's important for you as a leader, as an owner, as a business owner, is to trust and believe and ask for God's guidance, and just trust, yes, whatever he tells me and leads me to do is in the end going to be the best for me and best for them, and trust that God will work it out in their favor, in their highest good. And that brings me to the last piece, which is you just have to know, believe, and decide that every sticky situation can be harvested for good and for blessings. No matter how sticky it is, good things can come from it. And, I know there's a lot of people, myself included, at times where I go, okay, God, why is this happening? And this is such a victim mentality. Why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? And why we go through challenges, because not every sticky situation is created by us, right? Sometimes sticky creations are created by our team members, other partnerships, clients. Like there's lots, economy, hurricanes, if you live in Florida. Like there's a lot of reasons why sometimes we have sticky situations. And the truth is, it doesn't matter what created the sticky situation, whether it was you, whether it was something else, whether it was outside force or circumstance, whether it was a little bit of both. That doesn't matter. What matters is that once you accept the sticky situation, to know, trust, and believe that really good things will come from it, and to thank God that you are already moving through it quickly and easily, and you're moving through it on the other side in love, in grace, and amazing things are happening for you. That's what's the most important piece. Okay? All right. I love you all so much. So that's how you get out of sticky situations. If you didn't watch, like I said, the other podcast episode from last week about co-creation, you should definitely listen to that, because I talk about the 3 biggest pieces that create overwhelm inside of your business and how co-creation helps solve that. All right. I love you all so much. If you are a badass business owner who is ready to have some breakthrough opportunities, attract higher level clients, and create more sales than you ever have before without reinventing the wheel or doing 10 times more work, check out my high level mastermind, Born to Slay. You can apply down below the link of the podcast episode. I love you. Have an incredible day, an incredible week, boo. We'll see you next week.